You are about to enter a great adventure.
This is Strutting from Gorilla.
Welcome back, everybody, to Strutting from Gorilla. We are up. We are Adam. We have our wakey eggs and bakey episode here. This is Strutting from Gorilla. I got myself, Big Vito, and we got Mikey Cash. How you doing today, Mikey?
I'm ready to go. I got my cup of coffee in my hand, and I'm ready to talk about wrestling first thing in the morning. Who isn't?
I mean, I don't know. It's a great question, right? If you're not ready to talk about wrestling in the morning at 6 a.m., what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. Hey, we had a pretty exciting week. Before we get into it, I think today's going to kind of be another continuation of like talking about the current events. I think there's a lot going on in wrestling right now, but even more than that, the Strutting from Gorilla crew went on.
We finally got together for one.
Yeah. And we went to see SmackDown. Like, I don't know if pigs are flying, but we actually went to a WWE event.
Willfully, we paid for the tickets.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, the leader of men did not fall asleep this time.
That's right, baby.
Yep.
So congrats, Vinnie Mac. You did your job. You kept Bobby Stone awake for 2 whole hours.
Hell yeah. It was great. It was actually a really good show. You know, why don't we just get right into talking about that before we get into everything else? So what were your thoughts on the show? I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I thought it was probably one of the better SmackDowns that we've seen, even WWE events.
Honestly, it was way better than the SmackDown I had gone to with Leader of Men and Big Mangs back in February of 2020. That was not a great show. This one was. It started off really hot. I mean, it started with Lesnar and Roman. And I thought that segment was wonderful. They did a great job just sort of selling whatever match those two are going to have down the road. I think they're just leaving the door open. I think when you heard Lesnar talk about title versus title, I think it's like planting some sort of seed for people's minds. And I think you even said when we were talking about it after that maybe this is setting something up for WrestleMania, belt versus belt type of deal.
You know, it would be nice if it was a belt versus belt deal. I think, we talk about it all the time with too many championship belts, but like, how good would it feel to have one main champion? Like, okay, now that Lesnar won that belt, he's been on SmackDown and Raw. Roman's only been on SmackDown. Like, what's going on here? Like that's the storyline stuff that's killing me, because it's like, just get it together, have separate shows or don't. That's what bothers me, but it would be great. I mean, I think a title versus title match would be great, and then consolidate it to one, but we'll see what happens there. I like that segment. I will say the only thing that was concerning was that we were there for 2 hours and we saw 4 wrestling matches, one that was a dark match.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. It was definitely a bit of a promo heavy show. It's almost, it felt like they were doing a go home show, but there was nothing to go home to. There was no go home. Like, it felt like an episode of SmackDown right before a pay-per-view, but there's still like 3 weeks.
It did.
So it was a little confusing. Maybe it was their way of making up for the whole day one stuff.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, the pyro, we talked about this too. The pyro was great to see.
It was loud, but it was good.
It was awesome. It really does just make the show.
I like it. That's the one piece of the entertainment aspect of WWE that you won't actually hear me complain about, because I complain about everything. But this is actually something that I just don't mind. I think it's fine. Yeah,
no, I agree. But I would say overall, the Strutting from Gorilla crew, we went to burn it down, and that's what we did.
Yeah, we got a little Seth Rollins after the show. He came out and he kind of turned face. He's been a heel for a while, but when he came out, the Usos attacked him from behind, and then he beat them up and sent the crowd home smiling.
I got to say though, and I mentioned this when we were at the show, but don't you feel that he just basically copied Shinsuke? Like he's got that flamboyant like entrance, and then the crowd's chanting his music. He changed his music, and it's very similar. And then he does the same thing coming out. Like I don't know. I just think there's a little bit of.
To be honest, I didn't really think too much about it until you said it. But now that you've said it, now it's one of those things where now I can't not see it because there are.
I know.
So thank you for ruining Seth Rollins for me. But because I remember saying to you, I think on the ride down, I was like, oh man, I kind of like this Seth Rollins, just like nutty guy type of character. I don't mind it. He's a little unpredictable, but there's also a likable quality to him.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, well, now he's just infringing on Shinsuke's gimmick, so now I don't like him anymore.
Well, you took the thoughts right out of my head. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, this is great, and then I realized like it's pretty much the same thing. And I'm like, he would be the type of guy to steal someone's shit. You know what I mean? Like he just that son of a bitch.
So this episode went from we had a great time to Seth Rollins sucks in a matter of 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's move on to what we were here to talk about. I think we're
Should we give them a rundown what we're going to be covering today?
Yeah, I'll let you do
outside of our SmackDown. All right.
Yeah. Go
so
ahead.
We're going to talk a little bit about the day one event because we wanted to make sure we cover that for you guys, and also a little bit of the Battle of the Belts, one of AEW's little Saturday night specials that they had over the weekend. Pretty good. Some AEW thoughts in general, covering like the TBS title tournament, just that kick-ass women's tag team match that they had a couple weeks ago on Dynamite, that street fight. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about obviously a Royal Rumble preview. We're going to be talking all about Lesnar, Lashley, some of these forbidden doors that are opening in the Rumble. If anybody was paying attention to some of the entrants in the women's Rumble in particular. So, I think that's a pretty good way for us to start off, I think.
Yeah, and I have a great theory for this Forbidden Door Royal Rumble.
All right.
So make sure you listen to the end here because I got a good one.
All right.
Although this is like one of those Tony Khans hyping it up, and then like who the heck comes out? Who's is it Lito Rush?
You know what's weird is I thought about that too. It's like all this build up and it's Leo.
Yeah.
As much as I like Leo, it's not exactly a huge signing.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but I don't think we've seen him since. So he retired.
No, he's back again.
Oh, he's back? I thought he retired.
And this is what we mean. This is what we mean right here. All right.
Well,
so
moving on.
Yeah, let's get into AEW.
Yeah. Battle of the Belts. I saw bits and pieces of it. I wasn't able to see the whole thing, so I'm going to let you give us a little bit of a rundown on what you thought about it.
Yeah, so it was just a 1 hour special. It wasn't anything really to write home about. I think it was just nice having a little wrestling show on a Saturday night. I think one of the matches was Ricky Starks defending his FTW championship. And I just got to say, I feel like the FTW championship feels out of place in 2021. Yeah. It's like, I get what he was trying to do, and I don't blame them for just this kind of idea and trying something new, but actually, scratch that. It's not even really anything new.
No,
I'm really being honest here. We're rehashing something that worked in ECW. Yeah. However, I don't think the whole purpose of this belt really, it doesn't do the job in 2021. And I feel like it's very out of place on AEW's TV. And I do think, unfortunately, you could confuse some people with this being a legitimate title because it's not a real title, but yet it's being defended. It's really weird.
It's stupid.
It's a strange thing.
Yeah.
So I hope that at some point they just sort of take that off TV or it gets relinquished or vacated or something. But maybe Medusa can throw it in the trash.
Good one. That's good.
Another match that was pretty good was Sammy Guevara versus Dustin Rhodes. The match itself was pretty good, but it was for the interim TNT championship because Cody was unable to compete because he had COVID. So I thought it was really strange, actually, that AEW refused to say that it was COVID. They just said medical protocol says Cody can't be here tonight. It's
interesting.
And I remember I was texting you guys, everybody on the text chain, and I was like, it feels as though WWE and AEW switched places this week, where they just like, in terms of like their openness about certain things.
Yeah, you might be right.
The fact that, Roman and WWE and Michael Cole on TV is like, hey, he's got COVID-19, he can't make it to day one. And AEW is like, well, let's not go to COVID, but it's medical protocols. And then Cody ruins the whole thing by coming out and saying, yeah, I have COVID, so I'm not going to be there. So it didn't make sense. It seems like somehow there were some wires crossed there. But the match itself was good. Guevara, again, dude, I struggle with him because I think he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't do anything for Mikey Cash. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't know about you.
I don't mind him. But again, you're not a flippity dippity doopity dive guy. You know what I mean? Like you don't like the high spots as much as I do. You know what I'm
you
trying
calling
to say?
me a crotchety old man? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You're the ground and pound guy. I'm the high flyer. I enjoy a good high flying guy, and I think what you don't like about him is that he's a cocky little bastard. You know what I mean? Like he's got that cockiness in him, and as far as a wrestler goes, I'll be truthful. I haven't seen enough of his work to say I don't like him. I haven't seen enough of his work to say I do like him. I'm completely in the middle with him. So
I'm not saying I don't like him. I just think his character doesn't do anything for me. Like it doesn't get me interested in him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair statement, though.
And maybe that can change. That's happened for me with a lot of different wrestlers over time. So it just depends on what their development is like.
Yeah, no, I would agree there. He's a strange one for me, because I agree. I think he's a good wrestler, but I mean, clearly, I feel like Jericho really likes him. Like that's the weird thing.
Yeah, Jericho's boy.
Yeah, Jericho's boy. So,
and those damn skinny jeans Jericho wears, they're so tight. They're so tight. Like he came out, I think it was on Friday. He came out to like save Eddie Kingston again.
Yep.
But oh my God, do you remember that episode of Friends when Ross has like the leather pants and he like can't get them off and he's like wearing like I feel like that must happen to Jericho every time he has to go to the bathroom. It's out of control.
You know
Those
what?
Pants are super tight.
He's going through a thing right now. He's in midlife crisis. I'm shocked he's still doing it. But
hey, if you can wear tight pants and pull it off, I'm all for it. Like I can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm a slim fit guy, but I can't go full skinny.
Yeah, listen, I hear you on that. Well, he's got a lot of confidence built, and the hair dye job, right?
Yeah. Has anybody pointed out that it looked like somebody took a shit on Jericho's forehead? Like,
no, I haven't
all of
heard
it
anything
pulled up, like right at his hairline.
Yeah, I see. I didn't see that on TV until you mentioned it. Now, Mikey, I can't unsee it. So thank you.
No, in HD.
But you know what? Again, I give him credit. The guy's been.
I know.
He's been on the show every week. It's not like he's a part timer. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right. He's
been wrestling a little bit less, but that's fine. I mean, dude, he's been doing it for so many years. Yeah. It's like, what do you do?
It's fine. Anyway, moving on. Moving on from Jericho. So the main event of the show was Britt Baker versus Rio for the women's championship. And this was a really good match. I thought they did a good job of selling the story that Britt had not beaten Rio yet and that she was actually kind of nervous to be fighting her. And you saw throughout the match, the way they told the story was that Rio had answers for Britt Baker that other wrestlers didn't have. So I thought they did a good job of putting Rio over in that regard. It kind of made her look pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it also furthered along this like mini sort of tension that's going on in the DMD's group with Jamie Hayter specifically. There was a couple times where she tried to help and it seemed like it was unwanted by Britt Baker. So I'm curious where they're going to go with that. Ultimately, Britt retains. I think that obviously that's a good decision. I think she needs to have that belt until
she's hot.
Another challenger comes along where they feel like they can make that kind of change. Maybe that's Thunder Rosa now that she's sort of out of the TBS title tournament. So,
yep. Or maybe it's Sasha Banks. knocking down that forbidden door.
Could you imagine? I don't even want to. I got a smile on my face, guys.
I know
that would be amazing.
Yeah,
that'd be a great match.
It would be great.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think Britt Baker's been great. Anyways, we talk about her all the time. She's been, I think, one of the bigger shining lights in AEW.
Yeah, big time. And
it's not surprising she puts on another good show.
Not surprising at all. She does a really good job with it. She's got a good character. You could tell she's comfortable. And that's why I want her, if she's ever going to drop the title, it needs to be in a good feud. It needs to be with someone who's also just as well-rounded as her.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, speaking of the women, though, congrats to Jade Cargill. She did win. She won the TBS title tournament. She is the TBS champion. Beat Ruby Soho in the finals.
Yep.
I thought I do wish that I liked the match more than I did. I think something just wasn't working a little bit, but they busted their ass. So, I can't do what they're doing. So who am I to really say anything? But I'm excited to see where Jade goes. Maybe she's just going to be, running the gauntlet here with the TBS title, like a US Open Challenge type of deal.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how that works with the TBS title versus the women's AEW championship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like I kind of curious to see how that dynamic works out. Like
a secondary women's title.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I don't hate it. I just I'm curious to see how it works.
All right, last thing, women's street fight. You watched it a few weeks ago on Dynamite?
I did.
Oh, it was Rampage. Sorry.
Yes, with Bunny and Penelope.
Bunny and Penelope Ford versus Tay Conti and Anna Jay. Dude, I don't know what was happening. Like maybe I don't know what it was, but that whole match, like the crowd was into it and it just worked. It totally should have been their main event that night. I'm kind of sad. Do they
tape those before or after Dynamite?
I think it depends on whatever their schedule is. Sometimes it's before, sometimes it's after. Sometimes it's its own separate recording.
Yeah. Could you imagine if they taped that before Dynamite?
That'll take the wind out of the sails for anybody else coming on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would have been crazy. But yeah, it was a great match. I mean, you know me. I love me some good hardcore shit.
Right, Anna Jay put the barbed wire on her arm and then did the sleeper hold. That was actually really cool.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they still. So here's what I don't understand, and this a little off topic, but how come they show blood in AEW but they don't in WWE? Is it just like
it's just
a choice that they make?
Yeah, it's just their PG rule. That's part of it.
Gotcha.
Sponsors, stocks, all that stuff.
Yeah,
they have a lot more masters to answer to.
I just think that it gives it so much. It gives a match, and listen, you don't want to overdo it, but it gives the match so much more. I'm not going to call it credibility, but there's just something about it every now and then, and I think the fact that they've used it a lot less over the years makes it that much more special when you actually see it. Yeah,
it means something.
Yeah,
if it's happening all the time, it doesn't. Yeah. It's just white noise.
Like the flippity dippity doos that you hate.
That is true. If people, so just for the listeners, me and Vito were driving down to SmackDown, and we totally regretted that we didn't film a ride along episode because there would have been some gold in there.
Oh, there was gold.
I think one of the things we talked about was that whole flippity thing, and maybe I'm not the biggest fan because sometimes it feels like there's no rhyme or reason for why someone's flipping in a match. Other than to just flip.
Well, again, you and JR have the same opinion, so
I can't believe that I have the same opinion as JR. I never thought that would happen.
I'm the opposite mind when it comes to that. I'm simple-minded, so give me all the flips in the world.
You are the general audience,
pretty much.
But no, all right. So it's not that I don't like flips, man. I think. I think it needs to make sense. Like it doesn't seem as though a lot of people think, why am I about to do this? Like there doesn't seem to be a lot of psychology to it.
No. And
maybe I could talk to Rey Mysterio because he does all that stuff, but he's awesome. So I don't know. Clearly he's figured it out.
Yeah, no, and Eddie Guerrero was pretty good at it too. Yeah, no, I agree. I think there are a lot of guys out there that are just all over the place. But if you have a rhyme and reason, I get what you're saying there, and I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Anyway,
but yeah. Hey, wow, we agree. Wow,
we agree. We agree on something. Like,
imagine that. Well,
every
hey,
episode.
listen. Now that we talked about
let's
AEW
ride
a little
this.
bit.
Let's ride this momentum, shall we?
Yeah, let's go into WWE, and this is a positive day. It's a new day for WWE. It's so funny, Mike, that they can make all these positive steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, going into WWE day one, I was really a little bit invested, and that doesn't happen very much lately with the whole 4-way match between Lashley, Rollins, Big E, and Kevin Owens. And lo and behold, WWE does their magic. Roman Reigns gets COVID. They
Is that
insert
part of
Brock.
their magic? Did they give him COVID?
Well, no. Listen, that's not what I mean.
They pulled their
I meant
magic
the
and they just gave the guy.
They have this magic way of taking this great gift of something good and just making a turd of it sometimes, which it used to be the opposite back in the day, but I don't know. So Roman Reigns gets COVID, and Lesnar, they throw him in the 4-way match, make it a 5-way match. And this whole time they've been building Big E up. He's been a great champion. You got Rollins coming through, who's gaining momentum. You got Lashley, who's been, having a great run here in WWE. And then Kevin Owens, who has been putting on great matches, but probably hasn't been utilized the best, but he was starting to get there.
Sure.
And I was really invested in this. Were you?
Absolutely, I was. I actually thought, and it wasn't that I was watching Raw every week, but I was just watching the highlights and stuff. But from that, I actually was able to get invested in this 4-way. I thought the story made sense. And from what I had seen, they had a couple of stokes in the fire with Lashley and Big E. It seemed like they were going to break off into their own feud. And as the build to WrestleMania continued, you'd see a little bit of that with Seth and Kevin Owens as well, because they were both like dastardly. So it was going to be who was going to turn on the other. And everyone was sort of playing the guessing game with that, but it was entertaining to see. And then Lesnar just threw a wrench in that.
Oh, it was ridiculous. And here's the thing though, Lesnar ended up winning, spoiler alert, Lesnar won the belt if you haven't watched lately, but before the pay-per-view, or even before the match, they interviewed all the guys, and I could tell something was up because every single one of them was angry. Besides Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was the only one when they were interviewing before the match. They were like, how do you feel about Lesnar coming in the match? And he was like, it's Brock Lesnar, blah, 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 blah. And he just everyone else was pissed off.
Just didn't care.
Yeah. And he ended up winning. And I just, more so than that, I just feel bad because, they get some momentum going with Big E. And I think he was really gaining steam, and they just cut it short, and I look, I'm not saying it's the end of him or anything like that. It's just, we've all seen the same Lesnar story. And I like Lesnar. This run that Lesnar is on right now is great.
Right. The devil's advocate here is saying this is arguably one of the best versions of Lesnar we've ever seen, because it's finally a well-rounded Lesnar where we're seeing him actually rely on himself for his mic skills. And who knew he could pull the promos he's pulling right now? I never expected that he could do that with such confidence. Anytime I heard him on the mic, I was like, one, your voice doesn't match your body. And two, it just didn't sound natural when he was pulling promos. Yeah.
He dismantled Bobby Lashley.
You said he dismantled Lashley on Raw last night, but I haven't got to see it yet. So I have to withhold my judgment.
He dismantled him. It's just, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but there seems to be this renewed energy from some of the guys. And I don't know if it's maybe hey, Lesnar's willing to be here. He's willing to fight. You guys need to step it up. The match last night with with Rollins and Lashley Rollins and Big E was phenomenal. It was the best match I've seen on Raw in years. And it was great. And I don't know what's going on, but there seems to be this like renewed energy. And I'm glad that him getting the belt again did not stop that.
Well, do you think it has anything to do with all of the releases lately? And almost like, hey, I need to make sure that I'm putting on the best matches possible, but I'm doing the best that I possibly can with any time that I have on TV, because I never know when I'm going to get released.
Yeah.
There's just this past week, basically all of Triple H's NXT team got let go.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, too.
I don't know if that's playing a role. It's just the unpredictability of your employment, which, sure, it's giving us some good TV, but if that's the reason, is that a worthy reason then?
Maybe. I could definitely see that. I just think that there's some of these guys that have been there, and it's like it's time to step up or get out the door. Like,
well, sure.
Like Rollins has been a good superstar, and he's been fine. But if you're just fine, are you really worth doing it? Are you drawing money? Is he drawing people? And I think he's finally starting to get somewhere a little bit where it's like, okay, people are starting to actually enjoy him. He was there for a little bit, and then I don't know what the hell happened.
His injury when he was champion back in probably like 2015 or something, that took a lot of wind out of his sails, because ever since he came back, he had been sort of floating around with his character here and there. And then they had a couple of Shield reunions that I think just kind of further set him back, because it's like, I have character development and then I go back to the Shield. Then I have character development and I go back to the Shield one more time. And now he can finally just like let loose a little bit.
Yeah, and I think if they have some sort of direction with the storyline like they've been doing, like, it makes a big difference.
Oh, you mean when it's coherent?
Yeah, and you know what I mean? Like, these guys actually have a chance to do something. Like, it's not just going through the motions and then you have one feud that doesn't make any sense, go to the next one. Like, you can start to build some sort of character, you know?
It's interesting that you're saying that, because I think you're describing exactly why the whole Lesnar thing was so upsetting, because there has been some coherent storytelling being told.
Yeah.
And now it's not just all just willy-nilly, like, whose line is it anyway type of deal. It's actually like there's been some stories being told. And then when you inject that, the points are made up and the rules don't matter, it's way more noticeable.
Oh, 100%.
So you saw that happen with the whole Lesnar Day One thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And look, it's one of those things where he became champion. I watched the match and it happened, and I wasn't even angry. Like, it was just like, I expected it.
You sound resigned.
Yeah, I was almost just like, whatever. But the thing is, I'm not as upset with this one because he's on TV every week.
Sure.
It's the whole like part-timer thing where it's like, okay, this guy's going to wrestle once a month, sometimes not even at a pay-per-view, show up every now and then. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be here every week and you're going to be invested, I'm fine with it. I don't give a shit, like
sure.
And I don't think these wrestlers do either. It's only going to elevate them. Like, look what it's doing for those four guys, At least three of the four. I don't know where Kevin Owens is going at this point, but
well, he signed a new deal, so he's not going anywhere.
No, I know he signed a new deal, but he wasn't involved in any of the aftermath of it all. So, but yeah, the rest of the how do you feel about the whole Lesnar Lashley match finally happening?
It's a long time coming, and I'm glad it's happening. I'm looking forward to watching that Raw segment that you were telling about from last night, because it sounds like it was good, and I'm all for it. I think these guys could match up really well together, and we've been clamoring for this for years. I think that's been a dream match for Lesnar since he came back, and for Lashley since he got his second run with the company. And now's a good time for it because Lashley's stock is pretty high right now. He had a really good run as WWE champion, I think they were building towards him kind of doing it again, and then this whole day one shit happened. But I think this is a good time to have Lesnar and Lashley do it. Sure,
I agree.
People can complain and say, "Oh, it should be WrestleMania," but not everything can be WrestleMania. So sometimes take what you get. And I'm fine with it being at the Rumble. That's still a prominent event in their pantheon of pay-per-views.
Oh, I agree. To be honest with you, the Royal Rumble is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't like so. We'll just go right into the Royal Rumble here.
Go for it. Let's go.
We're talking about it. I didn't like that they've told us ahead of time who's in the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, I kind of like it, but I also really like the surprises. Like, I am always like, there's always someone that pops up and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was actually looking at it because I was with you at first with that. I thought, oh man, did they just spoil everybody that's going to be there? But so I couldn't really count it when we were at SmackDown. They showed it on the big screen and they had all the wrestlers that were going to be in the Women's Rumble. So I looked at it again the day after, and there's only 19 names on there. So there's still plenty. There's 11 people that have yet to be announced for this, and we'll probably see a few of like the SmackDown or Raw wrestlers that are going to be announced. Maybe an NXT name or two, and then maybe a couple more that could come from a Forbidden Door.
So let's talk about that Forbidden Door, because this is a great time.
Mickey James, Impact Women's Champion, she's coming to the Royal Rumble. I think that's huge.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there is going to be a lot more of that going forward with WWE. I was reading an article, and I think they've just kind of said, hey, why not? And you know what? If you're WWE and every other promotion is doing it, why wouldn't you jump on board? And then you have all the money. You're the one that's everyone's going to watch.
Yeah. Like, they have nothing to lose by having wrestlers contracted to other companies showing up on their show. They have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, because then they can say, see, we are the mecca of professional wrestling because look at who shows up.
Yeah.
People want to be here still.
Right. And they they have the most money. They put on a great show. Like, they know what they're doing. It's the creative for me.
I know. And that's actually something I'm worried about, because I'm thinking about it. And in theory, this sounds great. And for a Royal Rumble, awesome. Have somebody from another company coming through, because you don't have to tell any other stories with them.
Correct.
But what's going to happen, let's say in a fantasy world here, Kenny Omega shows up on Raw. And he's there and he works like a little 2-month program or something, right? How does he get booked? How does he get written? Do they try to change things? Like, look, what kind of protections do the superstars have from these other companies when they come in to make sure they're not fucked with? And then they leave with less value than they came in with.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I mean, who knows? It may not even get that far. It just might be one of those things where they do it for the Royal Rumble because it makes sense. It's a one-off, like, boom, they pop in and they're done.
It's a legitimate surprise, because we're always guessing about what former WWE superstar can come back, but then you're like, it could be anywhere.
Think about how smart that is, though. Like, if you're ever going to do it, the Royal Rumble is the perfect time. They get their, few minutes.
Get their moment to shine. And
their moment to shine.
Yeah. Like, everybody kind of knows, it's accepted that, like, all right, it's unlikely this person's going to win the Rumble, but at least it could just be fun to see them interacting with the other superstars.
That's it. And, so here's my, I wish we had like a siren alert thing. That
I know.
Right now. Woo! Here's my hot take. MJF comes out in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. CM Punk throws him over the top rope and eliminates him. And it continues,
would die.
It continues their feud in the WWE. It's not going to happen because of Punk in WWE, but
he'll never show up.
Yeah, but that would be cool, right? Because you get their storyline in the middle of the.
If this happens, Vito, if by some miracle this ends up playing out, I mean,
you heard it from Strutting from Gorilla, Big Vito, Strutting from Gorilla first. Today is the 11th of January. So I will say I stole that off Twitter. Someone else had that. I don't know who it was. I saw it on there and I was like, ooh, that's good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah,
I like
that'd
that.
be cool.
I like that.
Because it wouldn't affect anything. Like,
Mhm.
even if Punk wasn't even in the Rumble, but he just came out and threw him over the top rope.
right. That's all he did. He comes out, does that, and then goes right back.
Yeah. But it's just not going to happen. He's not going to go back there. But it would be cool if you saw a guy like even Jericho coming back, for
Yeah.
the Rumble or someone, because Jericho has a lot of clout in WWE. So you get like a legend coming back,
Mhm.
and then you have somebody like I don't know, like Jungle Boy or something like that, that is an AEW guy,
Yeah, or even like Darby Allin.
Yeah.
That could be he could be like a really fun person to
good
see in a
one.
Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That would be a blast. But it's good to see them kind of embracing it. We'll see how it goes. I have little faith that there's going to be a lot of AEW, WWE interaction. I really have little faith. If it happens, I'll be stoked. But
sorry,
no, you're fine.
It's just like popped into my head.
Yeah.
But do you think that there's ever a day where, if this is going to continue, if let's say they decide to reach out to contracted talent and try to work, have them work a program or something on their show, do you think at some point we could see that happen on a WrestleMania card, where there could be build up and then they build up on like a New Japan show or at Impact with a feud with maybe two people from Impact having a match on WrestleMania, or Impact and WWE and having a match at WrestleMania? Do you think that that's possible? Like for
definitely,
one of their belts,
especially with a 2-day show where you got
where you're trying
20
to
hours of 20 hours of WWE for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see that. But the problem is this, right? They need to do. WWE is like a kid with ADHD. Like, they're all over the place sometimes, and like they need to be reined. They need to be reined in. Like, they need to be reined in.
Or they need a prescription stimulant.
Yeah, and they've been doing better, and I think it's because they have less wrestlers and they can focus on it. Like, I see that in AEW, where it's like they somehow do a good job of taking the storylines and not like, I was concerned when Brian Danielson fought Hangman Page for an hour on Dynamite. That's half the show. And they only got 3 hours of time throughout the week, and they have all these wrestlers on there, but they somehow do a good job. Not many people get lost in the shuffle, but it's going to happen. Like,
it's bound to happen with AEW too, because it's just the law of averages. They have so many people and so little TV time.
But that's where, if I'm a wrestler, it's like, step the fuck up. Like, make yourself known. If you're not getting it done at this point, like Aleister Black, I love Aleister Black. I do. I know, really do.
Something is not working.
There's something off, but he was like that in WWE too. It's like, you know what it is? There's no consistent character. He always adds or changes something, and he's not the same person every time.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's been on TV a couple times lately, and he's been better. It's just, I like his wrestling style. You got to think about it. The guy's been in the industry for 15 years at this point, and it's same with like Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm sorry, but I love those guys. But if they're just going to be a mid-carder for the amount of time they've been in there, and then they get a pop from somebody, from the fans, and they're not going to push them up, what are you doing? Like, Sheamus at this point, to me, if he's champion again, I would be shocked. WWE champion. I don't think he's interesting enough.
Cesaro will never be champion while he's there.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I'd be shocked if they ever gave him the title. They gave him one title shot last April.
Yep.
That's it. And I remember all of us talking about it, and we were like, this is a big deal, because Cesaro had just had like his first singles match at WrestleMania. He won it. It was against Seth Rollins, a former champion, and he had some momentum. Daniel Bryan left, and it weaved its way right into Cesaro possibly having a title shot. And then that was it. He had the match, he lost, and see you later.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was listening to that book that I was telling you about. I love when I say I was listening to that book, because it's an Audible book, and that's how I read, because I enjoy it most of the time. And I travel a lot for work, so I'm always on the road, so it's great. But I'm at a point right now where they're talking about the Daniel Bryan run and CM Punk pipe bomb and everything. And they talked about how WWE, every time a wrestler that they didn't want to be got over, they basically released them. Like Zack Ryder and I want to call him Zandolf, but he's not Zandolf. Who was the guy there? He had a good run, but like,
who's the guy? You just gave me no information.
I know. I want to call him Zandolf, but it's not Zandolf.
Like what?
He had long black hair. He was great on the mic. He was a decent wrestler.
If he didn't leave that much of an impression on you, then I wonder why he got released.
But my point is, the minute they got hot, they took him off TV. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like if they organically got hot, they didn't utilize him. Like even Daniel Bryan, like
dude,
that whole yes run.
Vince McMahon wants that control. They want to be able to say we're the ones that got this guy over.
I know, and we're going to stop this in its tracks because this is a positive WWE day,
right? And I'm not and I felt it. We're getting sucked back into the rabbit hole.
But this is what I don't want. I'm starting to get sucked in a little bit, and
I know.
If they blow it up on me, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to come back in here because they're on a good track right now.
Listen, if they do something really egregious, then I'll unleash the Kraken.
I've unleashed the Kraken. I love it. But no, hey, there was something else I wanted to mention here before we kind of finish up the Rumble part, that it kind of went unnoticed. So the Triple H thing has been really weird, and I don't know what's going on there.
Me neither.
But we'll talk about that in a second. But there's something else that I don't even know if you know, because I was reading about it last night. Triple H hasn't done an interview about the releases of all of his guys, right? They released if you don't know, listeners, they released a bunch of people that were basically Triple H guys. And Triple H came in and did a great job with NXT. He resurrected it. And at some points, to be honest with you, the main event guys down in NXT could have been better than most of the WWE guys. I mean, it's obviously debatable now, but back in the last couple of years, I mean, for us, we talked about NXT more than we did anything else. And so he did a really great job, but they released a lot of his guys. Poor Samoa Joe was released twice in 1 year, even though it was different years, it was within a year's span. And then William Regal, who's been a mainstay down there, and a bunch of people, but Triple H hasn't said anything, which makes it even stranger. And I kind of Googled like how he was doing, because I was curious to see like his heart condition and everything. So recently he was on some show. He didn't talk about the releases, but it was after the releases. And he talked about this new thing called WWE NIL, and it's called name, image, likeness. So we might even have to do a whole separate show on this, because I could talk about it forever. But essentially it's WWE signing people in college, and I would assume maybe even like high school, where they sign them to an NIL, name, image, likeness deal, where it's almost like a developmental deal. So when they're like, they want to get the best athletes, but they're not getting the best athletes because a lot of them are going to different sports like NFL, all these different things.
Right.
So what are they doing? And so they sign them and pay them. It's whatever the rate is, it varies. And you can go and Google it. I highly recommend you Google this interview. It's very interesting. And what's his name? Stevenson, right? Who's the Olympic athlete?
Gable Stevenson, yeah. Gable
Stevenson just is one of the first people they signed, where he's not going to be on TV for quite some time because he's got other commitments. But outside of what he's doing, they can prepare him and train him slowly, right? So it's not like he comes in cold turkey and then has to develop. They can develop him over time and his schedule. But WWE has the rights to that person, their name, image, and likeness. It's very interesting. Like Google it. But it's a great way for them to get these superstar athletes and develop them beforehand. And it's way different from back in the day when people used to come up through territories and fight to get there, because WWE loves to sign these people and train them and make them big. Think about like the Kurt Angles, and whatnot. But
So this is a hell of a recruitment strategy for them.
I know.
To get new people on. My question is, we've complained before about the cookie cutter style. I've heard you say,
and that's the problem.
Right?
Yep.
So if they're going to be training these wrestlers, how are they training the wrestlers?
That's
are they
the point.
are they going to have different coaches teaching different styles depending on what this person's into, or people that you can end up developing like a hybrid style, or are they just betting on, we're going to give you a stock wrestling knowledge and just see what happens once you get on a main roster or you get on a show?
Yeah, that's this is why I said we could have a whole podcast.
Yeah,
on
we actually,
because
this is a
I
teaser,
actually
folks.
love the idea. I just hate the way WWE trains people to come up. It's all cookie cutter, right?
Mhm.
I mean, if they could tweak their, development program, and maybe they are, who knows, right? But I like the idea. I think it's great because they're getting in there and getting some of these great athletes that, think about it. If you're a wrestling athlete that is, and they even said, they're like, look, you're going to get paid more if you're someone who has a gold medal in their back
Sure.
pocket, right? You're going to get a little bit more than someone who's maybe just like a 7'2" Taco Fall type dude who has the image, but may not go anywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how it works out, but they have a unique circumstance where they can do something like that. And these other,
Well, the other companies don't have that kind of resource.
No.
Or that reach.
No. And think about it. If you're someone who's an athlete, are you going to want to get a concussion in the NFL or come to WWE, wrestle for, a couple matches a week and go, I'm just really, I was really shocked when I read about it that didn't get more news. And honestly, I didn't even know about it. I had to Google what NIL was. I'm like, name, image, and likeness. What the hell is that? And it's just their way of signing them to a contract without having them come in and wrestle.
Yeah. They still get ownership.
Yeah. Which is interesting. It's like, I like it, but I don't like it. It's a weird.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I need
Google
more time
it. You're
to
gonna have to look
digest
it up. I wanted to bring it up because I was reading about it last night when I heard about it. I'm like, oh, this is a great topic. But anyways, we're moving off topic. I know we only have a few minutes left here. Let's wrap up the Royal Rumble, and then we'll. I want to talk about the Triple H thing a little bit more to end the show. Unless there's anything else you want to cover, Mikey.
No. The only other thing I have to say, WWE rise, until we get into like our little Royal Rumble prediction here. Austin Theory is the generic creator wrestler from a WWE game.
100%.
He's look at him. He is exactly what you would imagine when you go into like 2K20 and you go to create someone and it's like a stock person already there. That's him.
It is. But I will tell you, there's something there because I watched the match he had last night with, oh man, I'm terrible at this.
Can I just say, are we
wrestled,
switching places here? Because I feel like you've become way more positive than I have recently.
I don't know, but
that's really
here's
weird.
The thing, though, I go off of how I feel when I watch them, and I agree. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And why is Vince McMahon? You're bringing one of the best personalities of all time back when he's like a shell of himself.
He looks like the Crypt Keeper right now.
Yeah, for this guy, like, what are you doing? And I watched his match, and I haven't seen a lot of his matches, and he had something there. I think he's like very, very green or very, very at the beginning of his character, but I think there's something there, man. I really do. But I understand what you're saying about the generic part of it.
Just based on appearances alone. That's it.
Agreed. They got to understand that grit comes from having these people that don't necessarily fit a mold, like that's what makes things great about WWE. You look at the old school guys and like Mick Foley. Vince McMahon hated Mick Foley, but I loved Mick Foley. Everyone did. And you go back, you would never think he'd be a superstar the way that he was. So yeah, I agree though, Mike. I don't disagree with that point. So we'll see what happens with him. Now, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? We got to do our predictions before we kind of wrap up.
I don't know, man. This is a tough one to call. And now with this whole reaching out to other companies, it does create a little bit of doubt. Like, well, what could they do the ultimate swerve and have somebody friggin' win it that's not in the company? That could be interesting. I mean, I doubt it. It's highly unlikely, but
yeah. Scenario, and I think this is an unlikely scenario, but a good scenario. would be to have somehow Rollins be the champion. It's not going to happen because I don't think he's going to beat Roman Reigns. But if you have him the champion and you have AJ Styles, who's never won a Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and you have AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, I think that would be a hell of a match.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one might be Big E. I think he could be due for that. And it could guarantee a rematch for the title.
I just don't think he needs to win it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think he could be in a main event with someone, and you might be right. For some reason, I feel like they've used the Royal Rumble as like a weird push for some new guys. Do you know what I mean? As a way to push a new guy that maybe doesn't have that momentum.
Yeah. Because they don't have King of the Ring anymore.
I know.
Well, not the way it used to.
Yeah. It's a neutered version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where someone just is called King for the whole year. That's all it is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do love King Xavier. I think he's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, it's great.
But still.
Yeah. I don't know who's going to win. It's really great. I mean, Drew McIntyre's kind of fallen off a little bit. It'd be a good time to give him a push, but he won it last year.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see him in a main event at WrestleMania with a crowd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that guy got the biggest shaft of all time. He's got the pandemic title reign.
Yeah, but I'm done feeling bad about shafts. Like, at this point, here's my theory. Make me invested. Make me want to watch you wrestle. Make me want to watch you talk. Like, Lesnar's doing that. Big E's doing that. Rollins is doing that a little bit. Roman Reigns is doing it. So,
I mean, what if one of the champions enters the Rumble? Like, what if Lesnar enters again, like he did a couple years ago? Or, if Charlotte goes, like, maybe they are really leaning towards this unification thing, because I could see Roman going in and winning it.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked if Kurt Angle came out in the Royal Rumble.
I hope not.
I bet he does.
I don't want him to. I think it hurts me watching him wrestle now.
It does.
His body's
but the
so
Royal
broken
Rumble's so
down.
different.
Still,
Johnny Knoxville is going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I don't mind, by the way. I actually think that's hilarious. Because they always have, Drew Carey was in it. That was a little bit over the top, but at least Johnny Knoxville, like, you could throw him through the ring post or something. And
he could probably take a bump.
He would take a bump.
That's basically been his whole career.
Yeah, he would take a bump. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble this year. I just hope it's not a letdown. I just feel like every time we have a WWE pay-per-view, the ones that aren't built up are the ones that end up being better, you know? So we'll see. I'm excited. Is there anything you want to add on the Royal Rumble, Mikey?
No, I got nothing left. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out.
Okay. Me too. Lastly, before we, end our final thoughts here, the Triple H thing. What is your thought on this whole? I know you talked about the releases already. Like, what is your theory on this? I don't understand it.
Well, one, I think much like this NIL deal, I think we're going to have to come back to this when we have more time. But my general thought on it is this seems very purposeful with the moves that they've made. If all of them are connected to Triple H and they're cutting all of that off, it seems like they're cutting off support for this guy. And I have no idea what this means behind the scenes. I have theories about whether it's a Nick Khan move. I have theories about whether there's some sort of falling out happening with Stephanie and Vince. I like very similar to sort of the things that we saw with Shane back in the day and why he ended up leaving. I question how much longer Triple H has here in WWE.
That's my theory too. It's like I'll use this word again, they're neutering him for some reason. And the crazy thing was, he built up a better show than most. It wasn't WWE style. And they put him up against AEW, where you're developing these guys and then losing them. And AEW is bringing on more stars. How can you even possibly compete with that? And I thought the shows he was putting on were far better than any WWE ones. And I think, Vince didn't want to admit that. Maybe that's one theory, that maybe he didn't want to admit that they were better, so they broke them up. I mean, they even went as so far as to break down the old NXT logo at the last thing, and it's like, why are you doing that? You're basically
there's
you're
a lot of
shoving it in his
symbolism there.
face for it, and that doesn't something seems off there. Now, you could say maybe it's this way for a reason. Maybe they're trying to. Maybe Triple H enters the Royal Rumble, and he makes one final match.
Man. With that heart condition, I don't see him getting in a ring again.
Me neither. I do think he'll have one more match, though. I really do. I think he'll end up having one more match. I don't think he's going to go off on the sunset without one more. Because we'll see what happens there. But I just don't understand it. And neither one are saying anything. So I don't know if we'll ever know the real truth.
No. 20 years from now, we'll know.
Yeah.
There's a tell-all audiobook.
Yeah, that's right. We promised you a great show, part 2. That's right. All right, Mike. Lastly, before we end this thing, I know you have some very important news that you would like to tell the fans, which I'm very proud of you, by the way.
Thank you. This was actually done while we were at Mohegan Sun Arena. I signed up for,
under your belt.
I signed up for Impact Plus. So I wish I was more versed in Impact. I think I've wanted to do some deep dives into it because for so long it's just been shit on as like this second-rate company, and I think some of that's probably warranted. However, I do think there's a lot of things that they did really well, especially the knockout stuff. That was stuff that was happening before WWE. But I really just wanted to let the listeners know that I have Impact Plus. Give me some of your recommendations, and you can tweet at us, right? I'll give it to you right now. The Twitter and our TikTok is at @from_gorilla. Our Instagram is at @sfgorillapod, and you can find us on Facebook at SFG Podcast. So give me your recommendations. What should I be watching?
Yeah, I already enlightened him to a little of the Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, which we only got a little of it. We were getting amped up for the show, so we only got a little of it. But you got to watch that. There was definitely a good run. Listen, I was on the Impact or TNA train for a while there, and you know this. And,
I do.
But the guys like AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, I mean, they had some Abyss. They had some good stuff. I talked about Homicide being TJ Perkins, right? Like, there's some stuff that maybe you're going to see that you're like, oh, wow, this guy, I know this guy, original TNA stuff. Watch Shark Boy. Shark Boy was awesome. It's gone nowhere, but he was awesome. And their whole X division was unbelievable. Basically, it was like 205 Live, but way better. And they were doing some innovative things. So we'll do a whole podcast on that too. When you get a little bit more in depth. I mean, I think you know enough we could do it now, but I think giving you watching some of the key moments you'll really like. So congrats on that. I'm a little jealous.
Thank you.
I might have to steal your password and watch a few things, or most of it's on YouTube. So we could probably watch it there. But cool. All right. So this was our Royal Rumble kind of preview. I think the next one we'll probably do a little bit of a Royal Rumble recap, maybe talk about WrestleMania season. And then we'll get into some of our bread and butter, talking about specific legends or TNA or whatever, like we normally do. I think it'll be good. But we're back on the train here. Season 2 of Strutting from Gorilla. We thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next show. Peace out.
We now return your perception of reality to you. Until next time.